happening, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and Craig. So today's video is actually a part 3 to the depreciation conversation that we've been having in the last 2 videos. Now, to be 100% clear, this was never a planned series. It's supposed to be one video, and the more digging we kept digging, more information kept coming up and they needed to be discussed. So that's why we're having a part 3. In addition to that, I recently had a minor surgery on my back. Nothing crazy, nothing big, nothing major. But I'm actually not allowed to lift anything. So that's why we're doing these videos. It's actually made this the perfect time to do these types of videos. But all is well, all is good. Soon enough, DIY videos will be back very soon. Like I said, this is part 3 in the conversation about depreciation. The actual subject matter is know your vehicle history. Now, this is specifically for those who bought their vehicle used. If you bought your truck new, you actually are the history, so you already know the history, so don't worry about it. But listen up as well, because you might buy a used vehicle one day, and this is very, very important. This is my 2015 F-150 XLT. I purchased it used in the year 2020, but before I bought it, someone crashed it. Now, unfortunately, anytime your vehicle is involved in an accident of any sort, it diminishes the value of your vehicle. It may not even be your fault. You may not even been there. You may have been at Starbucks drinking a caramel Reuben Crunch latte with an extra shot of espresso, extra caramel, and oat milk with a brownie on the side in Antarctica, and somebody hits your vehicle in a parking lot in Atlanta. Guess what? It still diminishes the value of your vehicle. Don't go to Starbucks in Antarctica, by the way. All right, so for my actual situation, I knew about said accident. So I thought, stick with me, all right? So the actual damage on my truck was right here. Of course, not on this bumper. This is my new off-road bumper from Hoke Road. Big shout out to Hoke Road. So not on this bumper, on the original bumper. My original bumper was chrome. And when I bought this truck, it had damage all the way back to about there, actually back to the tailgate. If you look here, you can still see these scratches right there. One there and one there. That actually came from the accident, so I presume. But like I said, this bumper was dented in all the way back here. The dent was like large. It looked like somebody hit like one of those yellow poles or something like that. They just backed into a pole. Now, the reason I knew about this damage was because the dealership that actually listed this truck for sale had pictures of this truck on their website for sale with the damage still on it, which was, I thought was very odd. Keep in mind, this is a Ford dealership. It's a Ford vehicle for sale at a Ford dealership. Normally they will fix it before they actually list it for sale. Why they didn't, I don't know. Well, actually I do know. This is why, and I wasn't gonna tell the story, but I'm gonna tell the story. When I bought this truck, the truck was listed for $22,600. I can't remember the actual number, but it's $22,600 and something. We were sitting there in front of the sales guy, me and my wife. This was, like I said, it's 2020. My wife was pregnant at the time. Anyway, we're sitting there, mask on and everything, sitting there in front of the sales guy, and we're looking for a breakdown of the price. And he slices over this sheet of this quote, and on the quote was the price to actually fix the bumper. And we were like, wait a minute, wait. You're offering, first of all, why would you offer a truck for sale with damage on it without fixing it? Secondly, why would you try to pass on the cost to fix said damage to the new buyer? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I just thought it was backwards. It didn't make any sense. On top of that, the price to fix said bumper was like $600. What? Now, if you know the old Ford bumpers, the original Ford bumpers were 3-piece design. They had one side, you have one side here, you have one side there, and you have the black plastic piece on top that actually connects the two. It was just this side, it was just the left side that needed to be replaced. My wife and I gave them this look, and of course he took that off. Like, no, we're not paying you to fix something that should already be fixed before we buy the truck. So I told him, no, I'll fix it myself, take that off. So he took that off, and I bought the truck. The week after I bought the truck, I went and fixed the bumper. $60 on Amazon. $60 in about an hour of my time. Really? So point being that this truck was involved in some sort of accident. It wasn't anything major. You know, the frame wasn't damaged. The bracket that held in the bumper was actually bent at a 45-degree angle. I had to bend that back, but nothing major, right? I fixed it, move on, whatever. But it was documented, and unfortunately, it diminished the value of the vehicle. All right, there are a couple other oddities that I noticed about this truck after I bought the truck. After I got it home, I noticed some odd things. For example, look at the hood of this truck. Looks normal, right? Normal hood. But if you look closely, look at this. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but listen to this. All right, now listen on this side. Hear the difference? You can probably see it there. The clear coat on this side is pretty much non-existent. Look at the difference on this side. It looks brand new, which led me to believe that this truck was repainted, or at least the hood was repainted at some point on this side, but not on that side. Wonder why. Also, you get out the way. If you look right here, there's a run in the paint right here. I don't know if I can, there it is. You see that? There's a run in the paint right there, which also leads to believe that somebody repainted this truck on this side. And if you look over here, on the very edge right here, right there, there's a run right there as well, which also leads me to believe that this truck was repainted at some point. But it definitely would not have left the factory like that. When I got this truck, there was overspray on the window here, on the windshield. And I noticed it, like I said, I noticed it because I tried to clean it and I was like, why is the dirt not coming off? It wasn't dirt, it was actually overspray. Now, I'm going somewhere, obviously, but these things are starting to click in my head as I'm actually doing this video. Things are starting to click in my head, okay? This is the thing, know your vehicle history, right? So let's get back to our laptop, or my wife's laptop. If you didn't hear in the last video, I actually broke my laptop because I accidentally sat on it. All right, so the standard when you buy a used vehicle is to always check the Carfax. Carfax is pretty much a vehicle history report of every vehicle. In some places it's free. A lot of dealerships offer them to you when you come in to buy a used car. Be careful with some of them because some dealerships have been known to alter the Carfax when they, anyway, so always check the Carfax yourself. Sometimes it's free, and on here it says $44.99 on the side. I don't know why it says that because I'm viewing it right here. But it says this vehicle history report paid for by Lithia Springs Ford, which is also very odd because that's not where I bought my truck. I have been to Lithia Springs Ford several times, but that's not where I bought my truck. Interesting. Oh, anyway, first thing on the report says accident reported, minor damage. We know about that. Like I said, the truck was involved in a rear end collision of some sort. 13 service history records, 3 previous owners that I did not know. Right up under it, it says types of owners, rental. I did not know that. So my truck was a rental truck to start off its life. I did not know that. Okay, this is the thing about rental, okay? And this is just for me. I can't speak for everybody else. It bothers me when I find out that a vehicle used to be a rental vehicle because you don't know the history of that vehicle. You don't know how that vehicle was taken care of or not taken care of. Think about it like this. If it was rented by hundreds of thousands of people before it came to you. And you have no idea how multiple people could have taken care of that vehicle or not taken care of that vehicle. And that bothers me. In addition to that, and no shade to rental car companies, but you don't know how they took care of the vehicle or if they took care of it or not. There's no way to actually know that. And hopefully there are like service records of that time period on here as well. But like I said, it was news to me. It was a rental car vehicle as well. Now, before we move on, like I said, I did check the Carfax. I did see the Carfax, but I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing that there were 3 owners or that it was a rental vehicle at first. I don't remember that. So now you go down to ownership history, which is cool. The first owner was, like I said, a rental company, and they rented it for only 8 months, okay? So it gives you a little more peace of mind. It wasn't rented for like 5 years. This car was actually originally rented in Oklahoma. Also interesting to know. Second owner, 4 years, 5 months in Georgia. And then the next owner, which is me, 5 years, 3 months in Georgia as well. Oh, it says I only drive 12,000 miles a year. Okay, cool. All right, going down a little further, you have the detailed history of your actual vehicle. And once again, it says Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Motor Vehicle Department. That's in that's in April 2015. Then it says auto auction. Okay, so after it was a rental vehicle, it was auctioned off in December of 2015. So like I said, it was only 8 months. And Lithia Springs Ford, there you go, that's why. Okay, so Lithia Springs Ford is where the vehicle was offered for sale after it was a rental vehicle. It was also serviced at Lithia Springs Ford, which is so interesting. So Lithia Springs Ford is the one, it's very close to me. It's not that far from where I live, which is also interesting. I was just at Lithia Springs Ford a couple weeks ago checking out the Ford GT4 race car. Check out that video as well. You move down a little further. Vehicles are serviced in January at Lithia Springs Ford as well. And that was before it was sold. Okay, so then it was sold from Lithia Springs Ford to someone in Marietta. Color denoted as silver, blah, blah, blah. And there's damage report. So in February 2018, damage report to the damage to the front of the vehicle. I did not know that. So there it is. That's why the front of the truck has been repainted in several sections. This truck was involved in not one, but 2 accidents. And unfortunately, I didn't know about the first one. So this truck was involved in a front end collision in February of 2018. It says on here minor damage, but it just says the front. Now they don't have any pictures, which is I wish they had pictures so you can see what it actually looked like. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to find pictures somewhere. If you dig really deep, you maybe can find some police records or something like that. I don't know. But it says minor damage is usually cosmetic, including dents or scratches to the vehicle body, which also makes sense why the hood was repainted in certain sections. I don't know how I feel about that. I just found out 2 history items about my vehicle that I never knew about. One, there was a rental vehicle and it had 3 owners, well, 2 owners before me, but the first owner was a rental vehicle. The second owner, also find out the second owner actually was involved in an accident in his truck, and I never knew it. All right, fast forward, there's September 2018, door latch freezing concerns. All right, I remember that there was a recall. So there was a recall for F-150s for door latch freezing concerns. I remember taking it to Lithia Springs Ford actually, and they told me that they didn't have the parts to fix it, and it was gonna be 8 months before they could fix it. So I actually never got it fixed. Moving on, all right, you got service records, service, oil filter change, brakes check, air filter, blah, blah, blah. All that in Marietta at True Automotive Marietta, that's awesome. Then there's a random in October 2019, take 5 oil change in Cleveland, Ohio. What? So maybe the owner of the truck moved to Ohio or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe he just got a service in Ohio. And then there's the damage right there in May of 2020. Interesting. So in May of 2020, the damage to the rear that we were talking about earlier happened in May of 2020. Then it says the vehicle was also serviced in Troy, Michigan. This vehicle has been all over the place. Troy, Michigan, tires rotated, tires balanced, recommended maintenance performed, and suspension completed. Then you have, okay, so that was May 28th, 2020. Now you have June 18th, 2020. The very next month, it's offered for sale at Billy Howell Ford, which is where I actually purchased the truck. The vehicle was involved in a rear end accident in May of 2020. It was offered for sale in June of 2020 at Billy Howell Ford, and I purchased it in July of 2020. So I don't know if the previous owner got into an accident and said, all right, well, I just cut my losses and move on, or what the case was. It doesn't say that information here either, which would be cool to have that type of info. So, how do we feel? I really don't know how to feel at this moment. I just found out 2 things about my vehicle that I never knew. Number 1, it was a rental vehicle in Oklahoma. Number 2, it was involved, the second owner got involved in some sort of a collision 2 months before I actually bought the truck. So it means the truck wasn't just resprayed, it was just resprayed right before I bought it. Not really sure how I feel about that. So quick story also. When I bought this truck, there was some sort of oil leak. And I remember the salesperson telling me, hey, if you buy the truck today, you won't be able to take it home today because we have to fix some sort of oil leak. And I was like, okay. We made this whole agreement that when they got done, they were gonna bring it to my house and they were gonna deliver it to me, which I think at the time was like, all right, that's probably the best option. I didn't inquire enough about what the oil leak was, only because they were gonna fix it and they were gonna fix it on their own dime. Fine. Ironically, they were gonna fix the oil leak on their own dime, but they were gonna pass off the cost to fix the bumper on me. That's really odd. I'm not really sure what that's about. And this is, like I said, this is a Ford dealership. They have parts. You have parts. You can just fix it yourself. Anyway, so I think this is what I think happened. I remember being at the dealership and I remember reading a Carfax report, but I don't remember seeing any of this information on the Carfax report. So either it wasn't there or I was just so overly excited that I was finally getting the truck of my dreams that I just overlooked it. I was just overfilled with excitement. I don't know. It happens. You know, you go to the dealership, you get really excited. You're not really thinking level-headed all the time. Now, my wife was also there, which is what keeps me level-headed, of course. But like I said, I don't remember seeing this on the Carfax report. But like I said, it does explain why the hood is repainted in certain sections. So the whole point of this video is a lesson to you guys, but actually it's a lesson to me know the history of your vehicle before you buy it. Check out the Carfax. And when I say check out the Carfax, not the Carfax that they give you at the dealership. Go home, get on Carfax.com and check out the Carfax yourself. Now, a couple other websites that you can check out the history of the vehicle. There's like Car Vertical. There's a couple other websites. So check it out and check it out yourself and make sure you're getting the correct information. There was one day where years ago, I went to look at a vehicle and the guy handed me a Carfax and it said that there was no damage on this car whatsoever. And you went and looked at the car and there was like overspray all over the entire car. And I was like, did y'all spray the car? And he said, oh yeah, we do that. That's what we do for when we sell cars. We make sure to make it look the best on the lot, we respray them. I was like, nah. There was spray on the frame, there was spray on the radiator. I was like, no, something's wrong here. And I went home and I checked the Carfax myself. And of course there was an accident on that Carfax that was not on the dealership's Carfax. So, know the history of your vehicle before you buy it. Now that vehicle that I was just talking about was a Nissan Altima. Needless to say, I did not buy that vehicle. Matter of fact, I left that dealership ASAP, never to return because I did not trust them whatsoever. Anyway, so what do you guys think about my F-150? I really don't know how to feel. I'm being completely honest with you. I have no idea how to feel right now. I just found out two things about my truck that I did not know previously. And we're talking about depreciation, and a lot of things are starting to make sense, right? Not just the overspray and the fact that the hood had been resprayed. A couple other things are starting to make a lot of sense. So the question is, would I have still bought this truck 5 years ago? If I had this information, would I still have bought this truck? Did I say bought? Would I still have gotten this truck? And the answer is probably so. I probably still would have gotten it. But it would have been nice to know this information up front. And that's my fault, right? That's my fault. We're adults. You know, I should have checked. You know, like I say, you get in the dealership, you get really excited. And this is after months and months and months of searching for F-150. I was finally getting one. I was probably just overly excited and I let my emotions overwhelm my brain. And anyway, but I still probably would have bought said truck because like I say, this was the cheapest F-150 within 100 miles of me that I could actually afford. Not only that, it was one of the best looking F-150s that I could find. I love the color. I love all the amenities. I love everything that it had, all the options. So I probably still would have bought this truck. But like I said, it would have been nice to know, especially now 5 years later when we're talking about depreciation, because it's also factored into why my truck was had depreciated so much, or why the value of my truck is very low, because it's been involved in not one but two accidents. Although they were minor, it was still involved in two accidents, and anytime somebody sees that, the value goes down. All right, so it also makes sense to why this was the cheapest F-150 that I could find within 100 miles of me, because it had been involved in two accidents. That's what I meant when I said my brain was starting to click on things. That's why it makes sense now, okay? So, Motivation Crew, let me know what you guys think, because I really don't know how to feel at the moment. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments in the comments below. Please give me a like. Please subscribe, okay? Please subscribe. It does help out the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we post new videos, right? And have you checked out your vehicle's history? If you're not, please check it out. Check on Carfax, Car Vertical, any of the millions of websites that you can check your car history. Check it out. All right, Motivation Crew, that's me, that's you. Till next time, I'll see you. And that's what we do.